What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dr. Joey Munoz Show, where we talk about all things health and fitness. Today's episode is a little bit different than my typical episodes. I did an interview with the winner of our 21-day challenge, Lowell Thompson, who is a high school chemistry teacher. He decided to take the leap and join us for our challenge. He's always been interested in what we do here at Fit4Life Academy. Was a little bit hesitant because he's never experienced working with a coach, and he took the leap, joined us, and he actually had such an amazing experience that he decided to join us for one-on-one coaching now as well. Lowell is somebody who has been relatively active and healthy his whole life, but he's struggled with his weight. He's a bigger guy. He's had some goals around losing weight in a sustainable way to improve physical function, health, joint pain, etc. And he had an absolutely amazing and transformative journey in the short 21 days. And so I wanted to highlight his story and share it with you guys so that you really see how beneficial and impactful coaching with the right team can be. So if you've ever had any not questions, but interest or desire in joining Fit4Life Academy and working with us, but you haven't taken that leap, maybe you're a little bit hesitant because you don't know what it's like, I encourage you to listen through to the entirety of this episode, and I hope that you find it valuable. With that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Lowell, what motivated you to join our 21-day challenge here at Fit4Life Academy, and what were you hoping to achieve when you joined?
I think there are a lot of reasons I joined, but I started following you on social media and seeing your content and the connection to I don't know, the depth of your content brought me to be more interested in what you had going on. And so then I joined your Facebook group, and this 21-day challenge got posted. Like, whoa, this looks really like a cool opportunity. I don't know what's going to be, but my goals really were just to find ways to build sustainable habits. One of the things you talk about in your educational content is sustainable habits. And I knew that 21 days wasn't enough for lifetime change, but it would be a great start. 21 days is long enough to make a difference, but you got to go, obviously you got to keep going past that. But I really was hoping to achieve the beginning of those lifetime sustainable habits when I joined the challenge.
Yeah. And maybe if we could go a little bit deeper in this, what are some of your long-term goals with health and fitness as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. Long-term, I've been big my whole life. I'm a big guy, overweight. And certainly one of the goals is body recomposition, losing some of that excess fat. But I knew that the 21-day challenge was also more than just nutrition, more than just fat loss. It was also about an exercise plan. And I've been exercising my whole life, but I've never really thought about an actual program that would be better for me. So I wanted to get that exercise knowledge of building a program. And I wanted it to kickstart. I don't know. I've been on this journey my whole life of trying to be more fit. And I've had fitness is an interesting concept, right? I've been overweight, but I've climbed 14,000-foot mountains in California, but how can I lose some of that body weight to make it easier for my joints? I've got bad knees. How can I lose that weight and make it easier for my knees? I think in terms of like those long-term goals for me, it was really about making sustainable changes that I could carry with me indefinitely.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And if we could maybe talk about some of the specific goals that you did achieve or some of the progress that you did make throughout the 21-day challenge. What changes did you see in yourself physically, mentally, or in your daily habits by the end of the 21-day challenge?
Yeah, physically, it was, 21 days, but we got access a few days early on the EverFit app. So over those, 25, 26 days, I did lose about 10 pounds. My nutrition goals were met pretty consistently. The goals that were developed within the coaching program. I also felt stronger physically. And I've been lifting and working out for my whole life, but there were some specific things I did. I was encouraged by my coach, Coach Sessi, to try lunges. I haven't done lunges since my 20s when I was a lot stronger and even fitter than I am now. And I did it, you know. So physically, just that confidence to try things, absolutely feel better physically, improved energy, eating a little bit healthier, certainly improved my energy. Right now I'm staying at home to take care of my wife and her chemotherapy for breast cancer. And so I've got a little bit of time when she's asleep. And I noticed, you know, my sleep schedule is not the best right now because of that. And I've just noticed increased energy physically, even when I don't sleep very well. Mentally, I think the biggest shift is a mindset shift. One of the educational tools, one of the educational videos had a phrase that was basically, the changes you want to make now are the changes you're going to have to sustain for the rest of your life. I know I'm not probably paraphrasing it quite as eloquently as I could, but that idea, I probably knew that already, but just the way it was phrased really changed my mindset. The changes I'm doing now can't be this temporary diet. It's got to be sustainable habits. And habits really was one of the emphases of the program. And, you know, there were daily step count goals, and I'm always pretty active, but it was kind of cool to have that every day, 8 to 10,000 steps as a goal. We had a 3-day-a-week strength program. We were encouraged to do walking and cardio on other days. We also tracked our calories, our protein, and our fiber. And that was kind of interesting to me. I've been trying to get high protein for a while now, but I'd never really known if I was doing good with fat and carbs as the other macros. And one of the ideas was get your protein, get your fiber, and keep your calories in check, and the fat and carbs don't matter as much. Maybe down the road if you've got specific goals or something, but really just building the habit of tracking your nutrition so that you can make changes as needed and adapt. So just a lot of really cool changes from the 21 days that I'm excited about and hope to continue some of those changes.
Yeah. And if I could dive a little bit deeper on the mindset thing, right? Because you and I talked about this before this short little interview, this idea that the things you need to do to achieve your goals are the things you need to keep doing to maintain that progress, right?
Yeah.
And I highlight that. I mean, that's one of those key phrases that I say over and over again, because although it's really simple to understand, most people don't think about that, right?
Yeah.
Most people are frustrated with where they are health-wise or weight-wise, and obviously they want to see quick results. I understand. And there's nothing wrong with seeing quick results. I mean, you lost 10 pounds in about a month, that's fast. That's quick results, right? So simple doesn't mean slow.
Yeah.
We just want to do things that you can continue doing long term. And most people tend to take this quick approach where they go on a super restrictive diet or they exercise more than what their lifestyle actually allows them to do long term. And so what happens? They crash, they burn, they go back to square one, right? I guess the question I want to ask you, Lowell, is when you did, really internalize that message, how did that change your overall approach when it comes to health and fitness compared to maybe some of the things that you were trying to do before?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think the biggest change that mindset shift allowed me was to think about consistent habits. I had 2 days in a row in the middle of the 21 days that I didn't do so great with my nutrition for different reasons. And that mindset shift allowed me to take those 2 days and just toss them. The consistency was what really mattered. Am I going to have bad days once in a while? Yes. And in previous attempts to get better, a couple bad days might have led me to just be like, I'm done. I'll get back to it again. I'm going to try again someday, but I'm done for now. And with the idea of the changes I make now have to be sustainable. Like, okay, if I got a bad day, I'm done. It's fine. I don't want to have bad days over and over and over and over again, but one bad day, 2 bad days isn't going to change things. I'm not going to
Yeah.
gain back 10 pounds in one bad day, right? So
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest shift, is that mindset allowed for mistakes to not derail the whole process. Mistakes are part of being human. And
Yeah.
with the coaching, you know, we had group coaching calls and private conversations, and the community, we all shared some of our struggles, and it was like, all right, had a bad day. Now it's time to get right back after it.
Yeah.
And I think that was critical.
Hey guys, some of you may not know that I'm the scientific advisor for a supplement company called Outwork Nutrition. I help with the formulation of new products to help ensure that they're effective and backed by science. Unlike many other supplement companies out there, we don't rely on exaggerated claims or flashy marketing tactics. Instead, we let the science speak for itself. We take pride in formulating products that deliver real results, helping you achieve your fitness goals in a meaningful way. If you're in the market for supplements like protein powder, pre-workout, or recovery products, make sure to check us out at outworknutrition.com. And as a thank you for being an avid listener of this podcast, use code Joey for an exclusive discount at checkout. You can find a link to our website down in the description of this podcast episode. Remember, our goal is to empower you with science-backed supplements that truly make a difference. Choose Outwork Nutrition and elevate your fitness to new heights. Yeah, everybody goes through it, man. Everybody struggles. And it's hard to realize that when you're doing it on your own too, right? I feel like we all know, obviously, everybody struggles, but it's easier when you do it in a group setting as well. Which actually leads us really well into the next question, because I feel like oftentimes people also think that what they're missing is a lack of information, right? I need a better workout plan. I need a better diet. And there's some truth to that. Like, if you don't know what you're doing at all, yes, you need a base amount of information to help you at least get started on the right track. But I think what people really benefit from are having the appropriate systems for support, guidance, and accountability, right? And that's why with our program, like, yes, we tell you what to do, but we put way more emphasis on helping you actually do those things, in this case for 21 days, but with some of our clients for years to come, right? And so my question to you, Lowell, is how did our team and our systems for support help you stay consistent and make progress towards your goals? What role did the community, the group calls, the technique feedback, what role did that play?
They all played a role. I think one of the things that this challenge really made clear is it can actually be simple to make changes. We don't have to have the perfect plan. We need to have a good plan that works right now, that's sustainable. And the group calls were really fun because we got to share our wins. Everybody that was on the group call shared a win, and everybody that was part of that group call was cheering on those of us that were sharing wins. Then we shared struggles, and Coach Ceci and other folks in the chat would jump in with, hey, this is what I've done when I've had that struggle. And these are some suggestions for how to get over that struggle. So the community was fantastic with that. The coaching itself, we did get technique videos for our lists. We got to put up 3 videos per week. I've never had that before. I've been lifting my whole life in different ways, but I've never had anybody help me with technique. And that part of it is what helped me try lunges for the first time since my 20s. The coaching itself, the private conversations with Coach Ceci, and those were things that allowed me to really see that it is simple. Progress can happen with simple steps. The biggest thing is being consistent. We don't need to have perfection. And I think that came up over and over again, but it really is about consistency. And consistency doesn't mean perfection. It just means that you're getting after it on a consistent basis. And I think that the community really provided those. I don't know if guardrails is the right word for it, but you're never going to stray too far because you've got this community there and the coaches there. The guardrails are there. You're never going to stray too far. And when you do stray, you've got this guardrail to put you back on track. So,
yeah. Would you say the community for you was the aspect that helped you stay most consistent?
Yeah, I think I do think the community played a role. One day in particular, I remember a day. It was a Thursday. Thursdays for me are interval workouts, and I had posted on the group chat that I was going to do an interval workout that day, and it was like 7:30 at night, and I hadn't done my workout yet. I'm like, gosh, I told the group I'm going to do the workout, so I got to go do the workout.
Yeah.
So I did, and in a previous world, I probably would have just said, I'm really tired today. I'll do it tomorrow. Well, it wasn't my best workout ever, but it was a workout.
Yeah.
And I think showing up on your bad days, even if it's not a great workout, is probably just as important as getting a great workout on the good days. So
Yeah.
the community definitely made an impact then. Nobody probably knew whether I did that workout or not, but the fact that I had
Yeah.
stated publicly what my goal was for the day made a difference that day. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. We see that over and over again with our community because, I think one of the things that does make us unique to other coaching programs is how much emphasis we do put on the community, right?
Yeah.
And now that you finish the challenge, you're going to be working with us one-on-one with Coach Bernardo, but you're still a big part of the community and the group calls, right? Like, even from previous experiences, a lot of coaching services focus on the one-on-one component, which is great. And people see a lot of benefit from that. But I think there's so much value that can be added with simply cultivating a sense of community and family amongst the people that are part of our company, right?
I really
And I
agree
bring
with
this
that. I
up.
think that community
Yeah.
aspect was something it was something I didn't necessarily expect to
Yep.
see. And once it was there, like, oh, this really is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I think it's the one aspect whenever I talk to somebody who's interested in joining and they're like, well, what's included with your program? And when I talk about the community, it's like people don't see the value in the community.
Mhm.
And I understand why. I feel like if I was on the other side, like I also be like, oh no, like the community's not the thing I'm coming here for. Like, I just want you to tell me what to eat and
Right.
and how to
Right.
exercise, right? Which
Right.
is important. But we've seen it over and over again when people start to open up and share things and almost step up as a leader inside of a community, right? And what I mean by leader is not like telling other people what to do, but showing up for themselves, which helps other people show up for them for themselves.
Yeah.
It helps so much with consistency. It helps so much with identity shift, right?
Mhm.
From like, I have to do this workout right now. I'm tired to like, I want to do this. I want to show up for the other community members. I want to be the best version of myself. And I'm happy that you were able to experience that as well. Now, what I want to ask you, Lowell, is obviously our approach is multifaceted, right? With our coaching service, you have, you know, different ways that you get support and accountability with even from like tracking stuff in the app, right? And the app
Mhm.
telling you like you have these habits for the day. This is your workout. From the communication with the coach, from the community, the group calls, the educational piece. What part of our approach here at Fit4Life Academy made the biggest difference for you and why? I know that's a tough question.
It really is a tough question because there were so many benefits to each of the parts that it's hard to know what part was the best. Um,
Or maybe you can just highlight which aspects of each of those parts was really most beneficial for you. However you want to answer the
Yeah,
question is fine.
the community aspect was great for that accountability. The
Yeah.
educational content that you provided was great for that mindset shifting that really made a
Mhm.
difference for me. The coaching from Coach Ceci was great in terms of um, the technique feedback and her strategies for how to overcome some obstacles and challenges. The workout program that Coach Bernardo put together was the first time I'd ever thought about how to program strength workouts rather than just kind of piecing together some different
Mhm.
things. It really is hard to choose one thing because there were so many things that made a difference. Um, if I had to choose one, if you're going to twist my arm and say you got to choose one, I probably would say it's the idea of mindset and sustainability that came
Yeah.
from the educational content. And I probably knew those things before, but the way it was put together
Mhm.
really made a difference for me.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm not going to twist your arm, but Sometimes it helps people like really think about what the different aspects are, what
Yeah.
how each of them benefited you, right? So thank you for providing a little bit of a highlight there on each of the different components. And the last thing I really want to ask, Lowell, is what would you tell someone who's thinking about joining Fit4Life Academy but isn't sure if it's for them?
The short answer is go for it. I was hesitant. And Dr. Joy, you were kind enough to engage in some conversation on the Facebook group about the challenge and about your coaching and what would be included in the 21-day challenge. And now I'm actually going forward with the full-on coaching with Coach Bernardo. I would say go for it. Fit for Life, in terms of the philosophy of building sustainable habits, is something that was missing from previous work that I'd done. And I'd never worked with a coaching program before, but just in terms of, following people on social media, there's so much junk out there. I think go for it. If you're considering the 21-day challenge, it is such a great value. And maybe you're not sure about full-on coaching. Well, go for the 21-day challenge first, because then you get a sense of what it's like. That's what I did. I did the challenge. It's a great value. Okay, now I know what's there. Now I'm going into the 3-month coaching program with Coach Bernardo. I say go for it. Um, it's been transformational for me, and I know I'm only a month in, but it feels like it's transformational already. And I think the best is yet to come.
Yeah, I'm confident the best is yet to come. Thank you for sharing that, Lowell. And if I could ask one quick follow-up, because one of the things we hear often for some people is that they really want to join, but they feel like now is not a good time because sometimes they're going through difficulties in life, right? And you shared earlier that, you're a caretaker for your wife. She's going through chemotherapy. You're obviously going through a very difficult time in your life. And oftentimes I like to explain to people that sometimes when things are difficult, you benefit most from having structure and guidance, right? And so for someone who might be thinking like, I want everything in my life to be perfect before I commit to this, what would you say?
I would honestly say the perfect time is now, because you may never have the perfect time. If you wait for the perfect time may never come. I found the community to be so supportive. And I didn't have to, but I was willing to share that I'm a caretaker. It's part of my life right now. And the feedback from the community was so positive that I found that to be uplifting. There were people in the program who had one other person had lost or what is in the process of losing a friend to cancer. And so that person had a lot of empathy for what I was going through. There just was so much support in the community that I found that it actually helped me overcome some of the challenges of being a caretaker. And one of the challenges that a lot of people acknowledge is when you're a caretaker, you need to do self-care. And I found this program to be a self-care for me because I was working out and I was finding community. And I'm a bit isolated right now. And so I was finding community. I'm in 3 months, I'm going to be going back to work and I'm going to be incredibly busy. And I'm really hopeful that, and I wouldn't say hopeful, I would say I'm confident that I'm going to have the habits to deal with that. I might not be able to work out quite as much as I used to. My nutrition might be a little bit more sporadic because I work at a high stress job that's a lot of hours, but I know that I'll be glad that I did this when I get there. I think the coaching team was always willing to work with us in terms of what our limitations were, but get the best out of what you can do. That was the message we heard over and over again, not just for me, but for other folks who had their own challenges. There were some people who were going through the hurricanes during the challenge. Well, adapt and do the best you can. And we're here if you need some support. It was pretty cool. So I think the time is now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, my friend. Again, thank you for taking time to even chat with me here today and sharing your experience.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of the program. It really was, it was fun at the same time as educational and all those things we talked about. So I'm really grateful.
Alrighty, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interview with Lowell. As I'm sure you picked up by listening to him, Lowell is an incredibly nice and kind person. He was such an awesome addition to the team, and we're happy that we're going to keep working with him long term as well. If you enjoyed this episode, if you resonated with what Lowell shared, if you realize that you would benefit from having accountability and guidance to help you achieve your health and fitness related goals, whether that's losing body fat, improving health, building muscle, feeling more energetic, developing more sustainable habits around your nutrition and training, don't hesitate to reach out. The link to apply for our coaching program is going to be down below in the description of this episode. And if you're interested in joining our next 21-day challenge, we're not going to be doing that until January of 2025. This is actually the first time I'm announcing it, but you can definitely join us as soon as you'd like simply by clicking the link below, filling out an application, and booking a call with us to see if we can help you achieve your goals. With that said, I'll catch you in next week's episode. Peace.